What's going on, guys? My name's Kyle, and today's video we're going to be talking about how I increased my sales from 0 to 15 plus a day on one of my new Amazon FBA products in a competitive niche. So before we get into the video today, I just wanted to address, I've been getting a lot of questions asking exactly how I'm able to increase my sales or have a successful launch with my products, or deal with competitive niches and a variety of different questions. And not only can I not respond to all of the questions that I get, but oftentimes the responses would need to be very lengthy in order to do it properly. So for the past few weeks, I've been working on a step-by-step guide on how to properly do all those things I just mentioned. Specifically, getting more sales to your products, launching products, and just overall dealing with competitive niches and selling on Amazon in general. So if you're interested in knowing how I do that type of stuff, I have a link down below. You can go ahead and click on that and then just input your email address. And then when I come out with that guide, I'll send you an email letting you know that it's coming out. It should be coming out within the next week or so. And then I'll also be sending out coupon codes and stuff like that to people that are on that email list. And then you guys will be the first ones to receive that step-by-step guide on how I do everything. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click that link down below, either now or at the end of the video. And I'll be sure to send you guys out an email. So when you're first starting out on Amazon or just any Amazon seller in general, there's a lot of hurdles that you have to overcome to be a successful seller on the platform. And one of the biggest hurdles that you have to overcome is dealing with competition in your niche. So even if you are really great at outsourcing your product, you've found a really cool product, you're great at creating a listing, and everything else that goes into setting up your Amazon FBA business, the biggest problem that most people deal with, and everyone has to deal with, is dealing with the other sellers in your niche. And so the reason why that's an issue is because, especially when you're starting out a new product, you're immediately going to be at the bottom of the food chain, for lack of a better phrase, because they're already established. People know who they are, and they already have the sales. So Amazon, is going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they can sell better than you because you haven't sold anything. So you have nothing backing the fact that you have a good product, or anything good about your business in general. So that makes it difficult for new sellers, or just sellers that are starting out new products. And that's an issue for most sellers, because if they don't know how to properly rank and get those beginning sales, they will be stuck at the bottom, and then they won't. People won't see their listing, and they'll just be stuck with a bunch of inventory. And it can be devastating as a new seller, especially because you don't know what to do, and you've done all the right steps, and you're still in this position where you're stuck with a bunch of inventory, and you don't know how to sell or to get people to see your product. Because most people, when they're starting Amazon, you have a good product. I mean, you've done your research, you know that it's a good, solid product that people will want to buy. But the issue is that you need to make sure people can see the product, because no matter how good your product is, if no one sees your product, they're not going to buy it, right? It could be the best product, it could be better than all of your competitors, but if no one can see the product that you're offering, then it doesn't matter. It's all for naught, right? So that's kind of where I landed, and my position is that my product was, slightly different and better than a lot of my competitors. But the issue was that there was so many people selling my specific product that I was on, I think, the 10th page. If you search the main keywords, you had to go all the way to the bottom, click next 10 times to even see my product. And so, as you can imagine, no regular, customer is going to be searching that many very similar products. If you look at the analytics of Amazon, I think it's like the 50% of sales come from the top 3 positions on the Amazon page because people don't even scroll. They'll just look, they'll see those products, and then whatever one looks the best to them, they'll click on it and they buy, right? So if you're not in that top position, it's really difficult. So the further away you are from those top 3 spots, the less sales you're going to be getting because, people are going to be scrolling by all of your competitors before they even see yours. So that's a huge obstacle to, deal with. And so at first, I tried to use a lot of pay-per-click advertising through Amazon. So that's just PPC for short, and basically you're artificially putting yourself in the top of the search results and paying for that per click on your advertisement. Now, the problem with pay-per-click advertising is that you're directly competing with all of your other competitors that are using pay-per-click advertising, because especially for a niche where there's that many sellers, it's not only you trying to get that top spot, but you have 9 other pages of sellers selling the exact same thing or close to it that are trying to get to that top slot. So that makes it really difficult. And so a lot of people, were freaking out because they don't know what to do. A lot of people, their first instinct is, okay, well, I'll just give them a better deal and offer my product for $5 instead of $20, right? So the issue with that is that when someone looks at your product, they're going to see, oh, hey, it's a bad product because it's only worth $5, whereas this one's worth $20. So they don't see that it's a better value. They see it as a worse product. And it's not that people aren't willing to pay for these premium products, right? That's not the issue. That's not why they're not buying your product. The problem is that you're not showing up early enough in the results, or they're seeing your product next to other people's products and they just look better. Okay, so with pay-per-click advertising, if everyone, all 9 pages are attempting to use that or bidding, they're basically bidding for that top spot, right? So what was happening was, instead of the usual 30 cents per click, 40 cents per click, because so many people are bidding on those specific keywords, it went up to $3 a click, $3.50 a click. And so obviously not every single person that clicks on your page is going to buy it. And so it was it was not profitable, to to put it shortly, because obviously if you're paying $3 per click, and let's say even if every other person is going to buy your product, which isn't going to happen, let's just say 50% of people that click on it are going to buy it, you're paying $6 on top of that sale, which is a huge cost to pay. And it wasn't every other one. It would probably be maybe 1 in 20 would buy it, and so you're paying a lot of money for one sale. And so that obviously wasn't profitable. So I was doing that for a little bit. I was losing a ton of money because I was spending a ton on Amazon advertising. And the issue why that wasn't working was because my competitors are using that also. And anyone that's doing Amazon FBA knows about Amazon pay-per-click advertising because it's built into Seller Central on where you sell. So obviously everyone's going to be knowing about that and using that to sell. So I had to think kind of outside the box on, okay, what can I do to sell my products? I had bought 300 units. I had sold maybe 3 over the course of two weeks, I think. It was really bad. And so it was really demoralizing. I knew other people that had recently started the same product, and they were just going to throw them all away. And I was just devastated because I had just spent $1,000 on my, first order. And, for someone that's, going to school, that's a lot of money. And so I was kind of freaking out. And so I was trying to think, okay, what can I do? And that's when I discovered Facebook advertising. And so what I did with Facebook advertising is advertise my product to people on Facebook, and then I was able to get sales. Now, Facebook advertising as a whole is generally difficult if you don't know what you're doing. And that's the huge barrier and why it was easier for me to be successful than everyone else, is because they don't want to deal with that. That's way too confusing. They're just going to stick with their, pay-per-click advertising on Amazon and not deal with anything else like that. I'm sure a lot of them don't even know that was an option to seek out, and if they did know, maybe they were intimidated. But I was able, through trial and error, figure out the best way to advertise my product to people on Facebook. And Facebook makes it super easy to find people that like your product. So basically what happens is a ton of people use Facebook, right? I don't know how many it is, but there's like hundreds of millions. It's like ridiculous. And so I advertise to people that have shown interest or have interests that are similar to the product that I'm selling. And so you can pinpoint exactly their like what they like that is similar to your product, and then you can advertise directly to those people. So of course, if you go in and you're advertising and you don't know what you're doing and you're advertising to everyone on Facebook, well, obviously everyone is not your target demographic, or the certain people that are interested in your product. So you have to kind of narrow that down and find the specific people that are going to want to buy the product that you're offering, right? So what I was able to do is, set up a successful ad using those different audiences that I was advertising to. And by doing that, I was able to get sales, because what happens is they see my product. They don't see any other products but mine, because I'm advertising off of Amazon's website. That's what's so cool, is that even if you're number one on Amazon's website, everyone's going to see that and then all the other products that are on that page, right? Especially if you're not number one. Let's say you're number 6. That's great, but you're also competing against everyone else on the first page. And so that can be difficult, because people, just for whatever reason, might not click on yours, they'll click on someone else's. But with Facebook advertising, what's cool is that it's only yours, and if they click on it, they've already shown interest in purchasing your specific product, because they clicked on your product. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can kind of set up your advertisement to confirm that they would want to buy and not just look at it. And I'll get into that with the guide that I'm coming out with. But basically, they click on it, they go straight to your Amazon page, and then they just see your product. They see all the interesting details that you've put in. They see, oh, this looks like a great product. And then all they have to do is click add to cart, and they're done, right? They would need to scroll down the page, and then sometimes you can see related products and stuff like that. But overall, it's a really great way to get sales, because you're the first thing that they see about that product. Now, what ended up happening was I was able to get those sales from Facebook. So I'm directing traffic off of this off of Amazon's site to Amazon, and was getting those sales. And so I was getting a few sales a day, only spending like $5-10, and so it was actually saving me a ton of money doing Facebook advertising and not Amazon's PPC, because Amazon's PPC just wasn't converting well, or if it was just really expensive. So with the successful Facebook ad that I set up, I was able to get those sales, and then with those sales, I started climbing in Amazon search results. And I don't know what exactly it is, but what I've noticed is that when you're getting sales from traffic that was off of Amazon's site and you're directing them straight to the site, it seems like those sales have more impact on like where you're showing up on the results, because what I've noticed is those sales were much more significant in bumping me up in the search results. So I went from the 10th page, and then after I was doing that, I like bumped up like almost immediately to like the 5th or the 4th page. And then I was like, oh crap, like this is crazy. And so I started getting organic sales just from being on the 4th page. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. I was only spending like $5 on ads a day because I was kind of nervous and I didn't know like exactly what I was doing. But once I kind of like tightened everything up and, made sure that everything was operating the way it should, I upped my advertising. I was able to get my, for my main keyword, I was number 2 for my Amazon product out of all those people. And then I started doing really well, getting, over 15 sales a day sometimes. Obviously it fluctuates, but I was consistently getting 10 to 20 per day, which for a product that people were just throwing away, and I thought I was going to just take a huge loss on, I was ecstatic. And it was just such a mind-blowing experience, because now I was getting those organic sales on top of my Facebook ads that I continued to run. And so I thought about stopping my Facebook ads because I was like, okay, I'm getting my organic sales now. But then I thought about it and I was like, okay, I'm getting those organic sales that are on Facebook, and I'm making money now. Everything's great. But the difference is that, okay, people that are on Facebook that are coming over and then buying my product, they wouldn't have seen it otherwise, right? So like, it's different from Amazon PPC, because if someone's already searching for that product on Amazon, they already know about it. They're already looking to buy it. But with advertising on Facebook, it's different because it's kind of just popping up in front of someone and them seeing it and being like, oh, now I want to go buy that, rather than someone already having that in their head, if that makes sense. So it's bringing in more traffic to my product page than otherwise would even be on Amazon. And so that's why I think it's so valuable, is because not only are you getting the organic traffic that just naturally is on Amazon, but you're bringing in more traffic that wouldn't otherwise be there. So for example, if you were the only product selling or if you were the only seller selling one product, and let's say there's only 10 a day on Amazon entirely, but you brought in extra traffic from Facebook, and then it increased from 10 to 15 a day, even if you're only making a slightly smaller profit because you're spending money on those Facebook ads, but it's profit nonetheless, right? And so you're making more money by using Facebook ads, even if you're already doing well on your specific product, because you're bringing in outside traffic and they wouldn't have seen your product or maybe even heard of your product otherwise if you hadn't done the Facebook advertising. So that was a super cool experience for me, obviously, being able to like have that huge turnaround with my product. And then, also just being able to see that, like, I could have just given up and not tried. I could have thrown it out like other people were doing with their products, or I could have, taken a huge loss and trying to sell them using Amazon PPC, or I could have just sat on my products and just been like, oh, maybe one day they'll sell, right? One sell. But what's super cool is that I feel lucky that I was able to discover, using advertising to promote my products. And so that's just been a huge change as far as sales, and just not even just sales, but being able to launch products better. And then, there's so many benefits of knowing how to use Facebook ads with Amazon. And so I just get super stoked about it. So I'm excited to bring you guys that like step-by-step course on how to, set everything up, because especially in, there's some niches that are super competitive, or maybe your niche has become competitive after you've been selling for a while. I mean, that's the worst. You've been selling for, a good amount of time, and then all of a sudden there's like a ton more sellers. So there's so many instances where it just is so valuable to have the knowledge on how to drive traffic to your Amazon page that's not already there. So many benefits. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really excited talking about this kind of stuff because I think it's just so valuable to anyone selling on Amazon. So if you did like the video and you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe down below. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any specific questions about Facebook advertising or selling on Amazon FBA. And then go ahead and click that link below to sign up for that email list for the course coming out. If you're interested in that, and I'll be sure to sell you guys a coupon when it comes out, probably the beginning of next week. I'm shooting for Tuesday. I'm just fine-tuning things and making sure everything's perfect right now, but I'm super excited for that. So I'll see you guys in the next video.